save us time in the long run. And I will allow format cells, though, to be active. I'll choose OK. Let's test it out. $35. That updates. Can I edit these? No. Can't edit these. Can I edit this? Nope. What about up here? Nope, 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 nope. Yes. Remember, we did now choose that formatting is available in the unlocked cells. Let's test it out. And select these items. I'll go back to my Home tab. And I can change the color if I want to. So to summarize, first you have to put a plan of attack in place. Then you select the cells. Then you choose the lock command, and then you protect your sheet. Let's go ahead and unprotect this sheet now. Back to the Review tab, Unprotect Sheet. And I'd like to insert a nice little image right here to make this a pleasing expense report. So I'll select where to insert that image. I'll go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, and I will choose Picture, which could actually be a bitmap or a JPEG that you've taken from your camera. Perhaps it's something you downloaded from the web. You could go to Clip Art, which is something that comes installed with Microsoft Excel, but there are other clip art libraries out there on the web. I could add just a crazy shape if I wanted to, or some smart art. Maybe I want to show a segmented cycle or an org chart. Doesn't make sense here. I'll click Cancel, and we'll just insert some clip art. Now it's chugging because it has to find my clip art collections. Search for, maybe I have a certain item I'd like to search for. How about money? Search in, I'll allow it to search everywhere, but I could be more specific. Do you want to include thousands of additional clip art images and photos from online when you search? No, I don't. Thousands sounds a little bit too much. You might want to do that on your own time to see what's out there. See, I don't have all that many, which is fine with me. I'm going to click the X here to close that clip art area. And now I have a piece of clip art that's just floating on top of everything. I'm going to resize this. I'll just put it right there. If I wanted to insert another image, I could go to my Insert, I could choose Picture, and now it's going right to my pictures, but of course you could access anywhere on your own computer, or if you're connected to a network, maybe you have a location where your company logos are stored or something like that. I'll just insert this fish bitmap. I'll choose Insert. Notice I could link it to the file, which means that it won't actually be stored in my Excel spreadsheet, but you'll be able to see it from my spreadsheet. I don't recommend linking to files if you have a lot of people that will be accessing this information from outside of your office. Also, well, because they won't be able to probably get to that source file. Also, if you've got your security set up in Excel, then it will tell you that there's something linked and it throws up red flags for Excel. So now I have a bitmap that doesn't make any sense at all, and I've got a piece of clip art. Notice when I select these items, I now have picture tools with a new ribbon, the Format ribbon. I could make all sorts of changes to this information. We'll come back to this in a later nugget. In fact, I'm going to delete this fish. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to click Save for now. Let's go to the Review area. Check it out. It's not protected, so I'll click Protect Sheet. I'll remove the check mark from Format Cells. I'll put a password back in here. Password again. Okay, password again. Okay. Now it's protected. And notice I didn't have to go through and lock everything all over again. What was locked before remains locked. What was not locked before remains editable. I'm going to save this again. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. Select, delete on my keyboard, save, And I want a few other employees to be able to access this before I share it. So I'm going to copy this sheet a couple times so I can reuse it. One way I can do that is to right-click on Sheet, choose Move or Copy, choose Create a Copy. Okay. Now I have it in 2 places. Another way you can do this is to press Control on your keyboard while you drag and drop. Notice that little plus is indicating I'm copying. Control again, copy it over one. So I'd have to know my employees' names. Maybe I have Andrew. Maybe I have Nancy. Maybe I have Ann. Maybe I have Fred. And these are blank ones that I'm actually going to delete out of here. Now I have my employees. They all have similar expense reports. At this point in time, though, they are not going to be able to all be in this file at the same point in time. So I need to share this workbook. I can click Share Workbook here, and it tells me that I'm logged in as training, have exclusive access to this workbook. If anybody else were to try to get in here, they wouldn't. They could open it as read-only, but they couldn't make changes. So I need to choose Allow Changes by more than one user at the same time. This also allows workbook merging. I'll choose OK. It will now save the workbook. Do I want to continue? I sure do. All right, now it's shared. I can click on Share Workbook again, and I can see that it is being shared, and anybody else could see that as well now. If Andrew or Ann had this open, I'd see their names in the list here, and if I knew that I needed to get in there and modify, change some formulas, something like that, I could actually select the users and then click on Remove User. If I were to click on Remove User, they wouldn't have access to saving that document anymore. So I would recommend actually throwing them a phone call, an email, an instant message, something to say, you know what, I'm going to make some edits. Could everybody save their work and close out? That's just for workflow. The tool will let you do the remove users. I'll choose OK again. Notice we have this command, Protect Shared Workbook. We could do this all at once, what we were doing before. And I could even share this with Track Changes. This prevents the change history from being removed. Passwords may be added if the workbook is unshared at the time of protection. Remember, we shared it, so that's why we'd have this password area grayed out. Now, Track Changes is something that is greatly collaborative, and we're going to cover that in a later nugget as well. But the idea is if you want to keep your initial information but also retain modifications from people, you can track the changes, and then with various highlights you know, hey, this has been changed, however I get to compare it back to that base information to see if that change is really something that I want to accept. I'm going to click Cancel here. At this point in time, my spreadsheet looks pretty good. I have the sheets in here that I want added. I don't want any new worksheets added. I've got each one of these sheets protected from data changes, and I have my workbook ready to go. The last thing I want to do, though, is to protect my workbook. I want to restrict access by preventing new sheets from being created or by granting access only to specific people. If I choose to protect workbook, now I'm protecting editing overall. And who do I want to allow in here? Maybe I want unrestricted access. Maybe I want to specifically choose who can come in and read information or who's able to actually make changes. Again, this is where you have to have that plan in place, and you have to remember that you put this plan in place so if you ever have to troubleshoot, well, why can't this one member of my team who just joined our organization not make changes or open it, but everybody else can? I'm ready to prepare this for distribution now. I'm going to go to my Office button in the upper left-hand corner and choose Publish. When I choose Publish, I have some options. The key here is knowing what you have on your network. if you don't have Excel services installed, if you don't have a document management server, then you're not going to be able to publish up there. The idea is Office 2007 greatly integrates with something called SharePoint Server. That's another Microsoft product. It costs more money, but it allows you to really collaborate among all the various people in your environment up there on a network share. They can all have their own portals. You can combine pieces of information. You can set up permissions so not everybody can access everything, but maybe you want everybody to be able to see specific reports and specific information. That's outside the scope of these nuggets here. I just want you to be aware that that could be an overall business solution in your enterprise environment. So if I did have these items installed, I could select them, and I'd want to throw this in an area that makes sense within my organization. My Excel services option now is in here, and I get to choose, well, what do I want available in the browser? And what does that mean? That means my people can go into our intranet website via Internet Explorer and be able to see just specific information. Here I can even allow just specific cells to be editable when I'm using Excel services. If I go back here, back to publish, I could also choose to publish it to a document management server. This would be a typical file server on your network environment. This is the Save As dialog box. It is the exact same thing as going here and choosing Save As. It's just a matter of you going and choosing a network location. Also in this Publish area, I could choose to create a document workspace, which allows me to have a new site for my workbook, but keep this local copy synchronized. In other words, anytime I open it up here locally on my C drive, for example, those changes will be updated with the workspace. Why is this good for me? Well, if I were to remove my laptop from the network, for example, and go home or be on an airplane or travel, something like that, I could make changes locally, and then when I hook back up into my networked environment, the local copy of the document will be synchronized with the server automatically, or I can control how often it is synchronized. So this is very nice. That means I won't have a couple different versions of my expense reports sitting out there where I'll wonder, ooh, which one is the current item? I'm going to click the X there. So let's review what it was that we covered.